Everybody was able. Hi. Everybody was able to hear that and see that. Yeah, great.
Yes.
So great,
Yes.
great, great. So as you guys see, the list here, that's you saw the highlights of places we're going to be seeing. You can see that the weather was very different when we were there last. We were there in March. It was actually supposed to be beautiful spring weather. It was a little bit colder than beautiful spring weather. And now one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is the weather. We're going to have warm summer weather. We enjoy Japan in all its seasons. The next thing I want to share with you, and you'll also please tell me if you see it. I'm going to share you a map. Japan is comprised of thousands of islands, 5 main islands, and we're going to be spending our time touring the island of Honshu. And I just wanted you to get a sort of picture of where it is. I mean, Japan is in the middle. It's in the middle of the sea. Itself is because it's a collection of islands. Um, the closest countries to Japan are South Korea, Russia, and China. You don't see that here. Here you just see, can everyone see the map? Can you see the map? I'm assuming you can if no one's saying no.
Yes.
Okay, great. So
Yes.
you can see that Honshu is the largest of the main islands. You've got Hokkaido in the north. You've got Honshu, it's like a chunk of the middle. And then you've got the smaller islands of Shikoku, Kyushu, and Okinawa. Okay, and then there's a whole bunch
On
of
my
We
screen,
can't see it
islands.
now.
it
We no longer
disappeared.
see it.
Disappeared.
We no longer
Disappeared?
see it.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird that it disappeared because it's still on my screen and still says we're sharing. So we got the impression we're going to be visiting the Honshu Island. I'm going to stop this now. And then, there's the Bakritskis. How are you guys? Recognize you guys already from your pictures. Um, I'm just going to keep muting you guys. I love it when you give your comments, but then I need you guys to be muted just so. Now, the way it's going to go now is I'm going to share the screen now with the orientation letter that I'm going to send out to all you guys. I'm going to go through things one by one by one. I ask that you save your questions for the end because chances are I'm going to answer it. There probably will be some things that I don't answer, and those we'll answer at the end. But chances are the questions that you have, most of them I'm going to answer. So let me go through the thing, write down your questions for yourselves, and at the end we'll have time to answer everyone's questions. I want you all to go into this tour feeling prepared. Okay, so we're going to try and please tell me that you can see. Here, you should be seeing a document that says Culturally Unique Japan. Can you guys see it? I'm assuming you can.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Number one, the most important thing, arrival to Tokyo. And again, I am optimistic. Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, no one's going to stop me from coming, Bezrat Hashem. And we're going to have a tour together. So I call us the Israelis. I believe there are 3 couples who are joining me on the El Al flight, Bezrat Hashem, on the Saturday night, the 17th of August. We will fly together, and together we will catch taxis to the hotel. So that's for the Israelis. And after this phone thing, I'm going to make a separate WhatsApp group for us for different communication for us when we arrive. But that's another story. The rest of you, you are landing at the same time. I believe it's at the American Airlines flight at 2:30. Some of you are landing a little bit before that and are also, I believe another 2 couples are landing on flights slightly before that, are also coming on the bus. I will be, Bezrat Hashem, at the airport together with Nami, who's my right-hand lady, and we're going to be coming and greeting you at the airport and taking you to the bus and taking you back to our hotel. As I wrote here, we'll be waiting with a sign and big smiles on our faces. Okay, if for some reason you come out, we'll be waiting after you've done everything, after you've gone through passport control, after you've gone through, you've picked up your baggage, after you everything you have to go through, and you walk out, not out of the airport, not outside, but just like in Israel and in other airports, you walk out those doors and everyone's waiting there and to greet you. We will be waiting there for you. And if for some reason you don't see us, WhatsApp me immediately. There is Wi-Fi at the airport that you can sign into right away. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later also about getting cell phone plans. But we'll talk about that. But if for some reason, WhatsApp me, call me via WhatsApp if you don't see us, and we will make sure to find you. I know there are some of you who have ordered a private transfer that's been organized by us, and you will be greeted by a driver also the same way, and he's going to have a sign with all of your names on it. So, and if you're getting to the hotel on your own accord, then we will meet you back there. What I didn't write here, and what I will add to this before I send it out to you, I'm going to send this out to you guys later, is that on the first day, when we get back to the hotel, you'll have free time to get organized. And then at 7:15, we will meet in the lobby to leave for dinner. I will add that here. I didn't write that here. I will add that here. So, and I'll remind you guys 100 times in the WhatsApp group also. If you're not in the WhatsApp group and your spouse is, then please send me the number. If you have your spouse, send me the number to add you. If you don't have WhatsApp on your phone, then please put it on your phone. It's very important to be in the WhatsApp group. That will be especially when we're in Japan, it's a main way of communication. Okay, number 2, passports and visas. It's recommended to make copies of your passports. So nowadays, if you have a copy on your phone, that's also good. But you know what? That's Bezrat Hashem, nothing will happen. But if you, God forbid, something happens and you have a passport copy on your phone, printed out, then it can help expedite the process. If for some reason you need an emergency passport, it shouldn't happen. But if for some reason something would happen, it's always good. Okay. This is very important. Again, we look the just in case scenarios, and we hope, and they probably won't happen, but we have to be ready for the just in case scenarios. So you won't get lost, and your luggage is going to arrive. You should always have in your hand luggage the things that you want to have immediately available to you. First of all, important things like medication, fill-in, chumash, sitter, cameras, change of clothes, underwears, pajamas, etc. Say always bring a change of clothes for the first day, just in case something would happen that your luggage would be delayed. It won't, just in case. Again, and of course, I'm sure you're all very seasoned travelers, but I always remind people, no sharp objects, no liquids over 100 milliliters. And here I have all the things written out here. You can read that later, but you're allowed up to a liter, but in 100 milliliters or less, which I think is roughly 3 ounces or so. Okay. Also, I stress that it's important that your carry-on is a small rollerboard suitcase or another bag that can serve as an overnight bag, because twice in the tour, we're going to travel by bullet train with an overnight bag only, and our main luggage is going to be sent ahead by a luggage truck to our next destination. Okay, and for that service, we are limited to 1 large piece of baggage per guest. I'm going to clarify here. We will be sending, I'm going to give an example. On Thursday, we take the bullet train from Tokyo to Kobe. Okay, on Thursday, we take the bullet train from Tokyo to Kobe. On Wednesday morning already, we bring our large suitcases down and they get picked up and they get sent ahead. And when we arrive on Thursday to our hotel in Kobe, our luggage is waiting for us. Okay. So what do we need in the meantime? We need to save by us everything we need on Tuesday night already. We're packing. On Tuesday night, we're setting aside everything we need for Wednesday and everything we need for Thursday. Okay. And that's why on Thursday morning when we leave for the train, we take whatever we had saved in our room, set aside, everything we needed on for Wednesday and Thursday. We take our suitcases with those small suitcases with us, and we take them on the bullet train. Okay, but and we cannot take large suitcases on the bullet train. Okay, so that is, and if it's not clear, I can explain it again, but I think it's pretty clear. And I'll be on the tour. I'll be explaining and I'll be reminding you guys. And I'll be and we have it all organized. There will be place allocated in the lobby with the name Kosher World Adventures, where we bring our luggage, and from there it's being watched by security till they come to pick it up, and we have not had any problems with that at all. Okay, so and more about luggage. Okay, so that was about carry-on luggage. So it's important just that you don't have just this tiny little backpack, because you're going to be needing to have a bag that's going to be able to take at least 2 days of stuff, and that you'll be able to carry it with, take it with you around, wheel it in the train station. So I mean, taking the train station, but I always suggest that it be a rollerboard or a bag on wheels, a small bag on wheels that you'll take for the bullet train. Okay, checked luggage. Today it's pretty much uniform that all airlines, if you're a regular passenger, is 23 kilos or 50 pounds. Some airlines are a little bit different. I'm assuming that all the airlines you want that. I always suggest that you take less, because you're definitely going to want to buy gifts, souvenirs, things for the kids, grandkids, great grandkids. Daughter. So on the other hand, I know I'm going to talk about bringing snacks. So there's going to be room made available after you eat up all your snacks, but always underpack a little. It's easy in the summer because our clothes are light, and it's we don't have heavy stuff with us, so it should be easy. But that's my suggestion. Insurance, if you haven't taken it out already, take out insurance. You need travel health insurance. You need insurance for the entire period from the time you leave your country until you land back. And it should encompass also cancellation and also medical insurance. Make sure to cover all pre-existing conditions. And yeah, so if you don't have insurance already, then please make sure you get insurance. Okay, yesterday I looked up, I always update both the weather and the currency are things that needed to be constantly updated. So the dollar is currently worth 146 yen, or you get 146 yen for every dollar. Okay, so the prices will sound outrageous, but they're really not. They actually, people like to say that Japan is expensive, but Japan isn't expensive. Japan is expensive compared to the East, but if you compare it to the US, Japan is, as we say, beseder gamor. 1 shekel is equal at 38.5. I would say when you're trying to figure out, those Israelis want to figure things out, divided by 40 for shekels, divided by like 140 or 150 for dollars. So I wrote here, it's recommended bringing dollars, pounds, or euros. Okay, you're all coming from the US or Israel. You can also, I sometimes change yens into yens. Here in Israel, I have a great change guy here in Shemesh. I bring some yens before I get to Japan. If you want to come with some yens, you can, but it's really not a problem. You don't need that much cash. You can use credit cards almost everywhere. In our hotel, there's ATMs, there's change machines. You're going to love this one. The best place to change money in Japan is at a 7-Eleven, and we have a 7-Eleven in our first hotel. And the rates are pretty uniform. Like, you don't have to worry So either you want to bring dollars and change, or you can take out from the ATM. I always think it's good to have some cash just in case. I'm a just in case sort of person. Um, and have some cash, because there are a few places where sometimes they don't accept cash in store. I mean, credit cards in stores. Most of the time, they do. They do. Very, very important. There, you do not bargain in Japan. The prices are fixed. It is very impolite. It's just not. You just don't bargain. Just like you don't bargain in the U.S. You don't bargain. So you go into a store, they give you a price. You go into a market stall, they give you a price. That is the price. Things aren't too expensive. There's all sorts of souvenirs. They also have these great 100 yen stores, which are like dollar stores, but they've got some great stuff. You can get, some people have gotten even like souvenirs type stuff, whether it's chopsticks or all sorts of things. There's, besides the souvenirs, and here I wrote some example: calligraphy, lacquerware, dolls, Japanese paper products, ceramics. There's all sorts of things. There's some people like to buy electronics when they're in Japan, and some people like to go to the Unique store. We will be visiting some markets, or we will be visiting souvenir shops, and also we might even be near some department stores. Department stores are interesting in Japan, but I don't want to give away all the secrets for some interesting reason. There's things you see in Japanese department stores that you don't see in other places. Okay, Japan is probably, safety, I'm a number 7, is probably the safest country in the world. Okay, the major cities are pleasant. It's safe to walk around at night, even for women. You're not going to be mugged. You're not going to be attacked. You know what? There's lots of tourists, and we don't want to. You don't need. There's no reason when we're staying at the hotel, keep stuff in the safe for you to walk around with all your money and your passports and all that. So I always say, if you can, then, if we're not in transit, then leave what you don't need in the safe. Every hotel room has a safe. I wrote there could be pickpockets around it. That is almost, non-existent. If there'd be a pickpocket, it wouldn't be a Japanese person. Japan is so safe. I can tell you even something else about Japan. If something we've had on our tours, somebody left a cell phone on the bullet train. You know how fast the thing goes. We get off, and that train is like, halfway across the country. Within 2-3 days, he got it back. Because in Japan, if someone leaves a wallet, someone leaves a cell phone, it immediately will be turned in to the authorities of the train. If you're in a mall, it'll be turned to the mall information desk. It will it the chances of things being stolen that you've left somewhere are almost nil, and the chances of you getting it back are like 99%. You know, we want to take care of our stuff, because these are the kind of things we don't want to be. Of course, we don't want to be careless, because those are the kind of things that can ruin a trip, and we don't want that. Okay. Clothing and weather. So it's going to be quite warm, and it's going to be quite humid. And first of all, light cotton clothes, casual clothes. Okay. Comfortable walking shoes, or if even better, if you have walking sandals. The temperatures can reach, probably the lowest they'll get to is like 23 Celsius, 73 Fahrenheit in the early mornings, and late at night. And the highs can get as high as in the low 90s, or 33 Celsius. The humidity is quite high. That being said, in different regions, it will vary. On our second day of touring, which is Wednesday, and we go to the Mount Fuji region, there the high won't get higher than like the high 70s, and it could be even, cooler. It could be like in the high 60s, the low, and it'll be a nice, beautiful, we're up in the mountains, and it's a nice, like, cooler weather. But most of the places it's going to be quite warm. It's going to be quite humid. We are going to do everything we can to help keep you guys hydrated and comfortable. Oh, together with the heat, it could also be rainy this time of year. So we're going to be actually giving you guys UV umbrellas, which will protect you from the sun. We're also going to be giving you light rain jackets to protect you from the rain. I do recommend bringing a compact umbrella. And if you want your own rainwear and not our, like, the ones that we give you, then bring a light raincoat. So that's about weather and clothing. Additionally, if you want to bring your bathing suits, there or exercise clothes, there are pools and gyms at both of our hotels. Um, if you're interested in swimming, then bring your bathing suits, or working out, bring your sports clothes. What I do need to tell you, I know for sure, and I'm checking into what's happening in Tokyo. At our Kobe hotel, they charge an additional surcharge for all hotel guests for pool use. And I'm checking to see if that's the same in Tokyo. So just be prepared. If you do decide to use the pool, there may be an additional surcharge. The gym is included. Okay. In addition to the clothing, we're going to be giving you guys small backpack for use on our daily tours, with a really nice one with the Kosher World Adventures logo. But if you want something stronger, bigger, can basically fit your water bottle, and maybe a couple other things. But if you want a bigger, stronger backpack, if you want to take and bring yourself like a daily backpack, like a small daily backpack. Okay. What I like about the backpacks is they have the big Kosher World Adventures logo on it. It's a great way for us to find each other. When we have to meet up after I give you guys some free time, it's a great way for me to find you guys. I find the bag, find each other anyway. Let's go to meals. Okay. So breakfast and dinner, we have sit-down meals provided daily. Our breakfast will be served at our hotel in our own separate dining room. Okay. And at breakfast, we prepare our lunch to go by ourselves. We have I'm going to go back a step. Not so recently, kosher tours in Japan had a problem with food. It was hotels didn't cooperate. There was a problem getting kosher products, and it was a problem. Today, we don't have a problem anymore. But Japan, at the same time, Japan is a country of regulations, a country of rules. So we cooperate with the hotels. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean. We have an amazing buffet every morning. Um, some food I bring from Israel. You guys are going to love this. They have Costco in Japan, and we get a lot of kosher products from Costco. We get some stuff from Chabad, and together we put together an amazing spread. Wrote here kosher cheeses, granola, spreads, lox. We have hummus, avocado, whole salad bar, fruit, eggs, tuna, bread, cereal, and of course, coffee, tea, juice, yogurt, hard-boiled eggs, etc. Okay, so we have a big spread. What are we not going to have? We're not going to have a variety of hot food because of the regulations in Japan. They don't allow people to bring in, like in other countries, you can bring in pots and pans and cook in their kitchen. They don't allow that in Japan. So we're going to have an amazing variety. And we do scrambled eggs that we heat up on a warmer for you guys. We have from Chabad. We won't have any hot food, but it's an amazing variety of bread. We have halva also. We have all sorts of things and different kinds of cheeses. But I want to set the expectations that we have variety, that we have a nice big buffet, but just so you understand what it's comprised of, more or less. Water. You can drink the water in Japan. It's probably also, like I said, it's the safest country in the world. Probably they have the best water in the world. Okay. It's safe to drink. It's tasty. Um, and that being said, you get bottled water in your rooms daily. We're also going to make sure to have the bus stocked with cold water. Um, Also, everywhere you go in Japan, there are vending machines, mainly drinks. You could be buying drinks. Also, and I recommend to bring a reusable water bottle. We can refill it along the way. Um, if you want to have a thermos, I don't know from this weather you're going to want to bring. Some people like to bring coffee with them when we go, when we leave in the morning, or sometimes they like to have a thermos to use also on Shabbat in their room. I recommend bringing a thermos if you want. Okay, so it's very important that you stay hydrated, and we will have water on the bus. There will be water in the hotels, but also to have a refillable water bottle. There's no problem drinking the water in Japan. Okay. What I love about this tour, I love everything about this tour, but what I love about this tour is that we stay only at 2 hotels. Okay. We stay in Tokyo, first 3 nights at the Grand Prince Hotel Shin Takanawa. And I'm going to say this name again, Grand Prince Hotel Shin Takanawa. Anyone is coming independently to the hotel, make sure you put all those words in the name, because there are hotels with similar names. You need Grand Prince Hotel Shin Takanawa, but here's all the details of the hotel. Be there the first 3 nights in Tokyo. We'll then be 6 nights in Kobe, and we'll be 1 night again back at the Grand Prince Hotel Shin Takanawa in Tokyo. So it's amazing because of the bullet trains and because Kobe is so well located. We will never be traveling more than 2 hours a day. Usually not more than an hour and a half, but our top travel time will be 2 hours and sometimes 10 minutes, depending, if we're staying in Tokyo and whatever. So we don't have long bus rides. When we take the bullet train between the cities, it's a little under 3 hours, and it is a beautiful. You wouldn't know that you're going 350 miles an hour. It is a beautiful, smooth ride. It is amazing. So we don't have a lot of schlepping around. So you also have time to unpack, especially in Kobe, unpack, get settled, do hand laundry, or send laundry to the laundry service of the hotel. It's wonderful that we're based out of 2 hotels. Okay. Number 13, wake up. I don't organize a wake up call. I will give you the schedule every night. The night before, I will also put it on the WhatsApp, and recommend that you set your own alarms. Basically, the schedule will be, I'm going to give an example. Basically, we will say we have shacharit at 6:30, and then breakfast would be at 7, and then we would leave between 8 and 8:30. So, depending on our schedule, I can give you guys between an hour and a half from the start of breakfast till we leave. Okay. I will not be organizing a wake up call for the group. The place where we daven, talked about our meals, will be the same place where we're having breakfast. And we will let you guys know exactly where it is. In fact, I send you guys a video showing you how to get there, so you can all walk there. You'll understand why, once you're there, why you need a video for that first day. But it's great. Anyway, hotel charges. Basically, if you've charged anything to your room when we check out from the hotel, make sure that you settle everything before you get on the bus. Okay. If there's a mini bar, and I think in the 2 hotels, they don't have a mini bar. These 2 hotels, they haven't until now. But so they have water and tea and coffee, that's complimentary. But if you've ordered anything to your room, done anything, I have a cup of coffee in the hotel lobby, charged it to your room, make sure you settle everything before we leave the hotel. And of course, return your key cards. Okay. What should you bring? I talked about snacks. We are going to be supplying you, besides your meals, we are going to be supplying you with delicious, not so healthy snacks on the bus. We have great snacks, whether we have cookies or chocolates or all sorts of yummy things. Um, um, but I also suggest that you bring the kind of snacks that you like, whether it's dried fruit, nuts, crackers, rice cakes, granola bars, etc. Okay, I don't know, your daughter-in-law's homemade cookies, whatever you want to bring. You know, also when sometimes people, the tour is not Chalav Yisrael. I don't know if anyone on this tour is Chalav Yisrael. If people drink Chalav Yisrael, either we do have a milk substitute on the tour, usually soy milk. Um, but if you want to have milk from Israel, I know you can bring the UHT milk, the milk that doesn't need to be refrigerated. I think you could go a week without Chalav Yisrael if there, but yeah. Also, if you want to bring hand sanitizer or wipes or tissues. And I'm going to say something else that I didn't put here. In Japan, when you go to a bathroom, and we're going to learn all about Japanese bathrooms, which is another story in itself. But strange thing about the bathrooms is you often won't find a hand drying machine or paper towels, because every Japanese person has a cute little hand drying towel. I would suggest it's a great thing when you get to Japan, when we have our first shopping stop, to buy yourself one of these. And then every time we stop at the bathroom, you've got your cute little hand towel. But that's just my suggestion. And if you want, you can bring a little washcloth with you to use as a hand towel, or you don't have to, but just an idea of things to bring. Medications. I had already mentioned that you should put your medications in your hand luggage. Bring all the medications you need for the duration of the trip and then some. That includes your prescription drugs, and also, of course, to bring any over-the-counter stuff that you might need. I also have stuff with me, whether it's stuff for headaches or stomach upsets, etc. But it's always good to have stock and also have your prescriptions with you. In general, there isn't a problem with bringing medications to Japan. Um, People have asked me about medical marijuana products. That could be problematic. So if you use any of that stuff, I would suggest don't bring it with on this trip, because it could be problematic with the authorities, and don't want to get into that kind of issue. If you have allergies and you need an EpiPen, please bring it with you. And yeah, glasses. If you have a spare pair, I always suggest bringing a spare pair. And if you bring your prescription, even better, in case you need for something happens and you need to replace your glasses or lenses when we're in Japan. It's never happened to me in Japan, but it did happen with me in Morocco. And he had his prescription with him and he was able to get new glasses made almost immediately. Electricity, the power is basically the same as the US. It's 100, not 110, but it's basically the same, and the plugs are the same. So coming from the US, if you're bringing phone chargers, laptops, I don't know, shaver chargers, etc., you're fine with your plug, and you don't need any adapters or converters. If you're not from the US, those of us coming from Israel, then you just need, for phones and laptops, you just need an adapter plug that changes it to the two flat. It's like the American one. If you want, I can send a photo if it's not clear. And if you guys don't have, at the airport in Israel, they actually sell these universal chargers that you can use for all over the world, and it has all the different I guess inlets and outlets, I guess that's called. But it's or you can just have, if you have a simple small adapter is also good. Okay. Internet and telephone. I tell all my people, get a plan, get a cell phone plan. They're not that expensive. Whether you're using, there's so many things you can do today in eSIM. You can get with your provider. Local SIMs are problematic for foreigners. They don't work. We don't get local SIMs, but get a plan, get a cell phone plan before you come. If and why am I saying this? The just in case thing. We have a meeting point and you can't find us. You know, it's so easy just to pick up the phone and call me on WhatsApp. Okay, at the top of the thing, I didn't show you, but you'll see the top is my phone number, my WhatsApp, my Israeli number. You can call me on my Israeli number on WhatsApp. In Japan, it works. Okay, so that's how you get a hold of me. Send a message, send a WhatsApp, or call. I mean, or call me on the WhatsApp. So it's just easier. You know, if Japan is a big, crowded country, we're in a train station, we're all together as a group, and for a second, and I've had this happen, you took a look in a store window in the Japanese train station, and you wandered off from the group, and and we need to find you, and there are so many people. Pick up a phone. I'm in front of, I don't know, Shakawaka Pharmacy, and there we find you. So it's just, I recommend it. You don't. Our hotels have free Wi-Fi. We do not have Wi-Fi on the bus. Your rooms will have Wi-Fi. The main areas of the hotels will have Wi-Fi. But again, I want you guys to have a cell phone plan. Please do so. And if at least one of the couple, but I think it's better that everybody has a cell phone plan. So that's my opinion. Can't force you, but I can highly, highly recommend it. And again, here I wrote here, if you get separated from the group, whenever we have free time, I will show you and I will tell you the meeting place where we're going to go back to. I'll take you there and I'll say, this is where we're meeting and this is the time we're meeting. Okay. You go there and we're not there, then and you don't have a phone. If you have a phone, it's very easy. You call me. Then just wait there. We will come back there and find you. If you think you're not in the right place, then go to the last place that you saw people from the group. But again, I think this was from the olden days when people didn't always get cell phone plans. Get a cell phone plan, and then life will be much easier. Use each other because we're gonna get to our meeting place on time, and we're all gonna remember where it is, and it's gonna be amazing. Okay, seating. The first row on each side is for the guides. I sit in the first seat. Nami sits in the seat across from me. In general, I don't give assigned seating on the bus. I don't tell people where to sit. I encourage people not sitting in the same seats every day, people moving around and mixing and and mingling. But again, if somebody has a particular issue, motion sickness or a hearing problem, though I am speaking on a microphone, so it should be okay. But if they have a specific health reason to sit in the front, then the seats immediately behind me, I will set aside for people who tell me that if they have specific issues. Besides that, I want you guys to move. Sometimes be in the back, sometimes be in the middle, sometimes be in the front. We are 30, will be 37 people altogether on the bus. There's 35 of you, me and Nami, and there's 44 seats. So there is a little bit of extra room, but there's room to move around. Okay, tefillot. I talked a bit about tefillot. We have enough men to make a daily minyan. We'll have shachrit, always a half an hour before breakfast. We will have mincha. We will build mincha and marg into the schedule. Usually mincha is when we're out touring. And mariv, when possible, we do at Chabad, like in a shul. And on Shabbat, of course, we daven with the community. So that is tefillot, and bring your siddur, talit, and tefillin. Okay. Okay, I talked about, let's see the things I talked about, the daily departure. One thing I do want to talk about is punctuality. It really is important. I'm going to give you the schedule. I'm going to drill it into your heads the night before. I'm going to write it on the WhatsApp. I'm going to remind you of it. And if I say, that breakfast is at 7 and we're leaving at 8:15, then make sure that either you brought everything down that you need for the day at breakfast, or you give yourself enough time to go up to your room and be on the bus on time. If I'm sure a lot of you have been on tours, and we're a big group, and we have a lot we want to do. We have a lot we want to see. We don't want to be rushing. We want to be doing it in a nice way, in a fun way, in an interesting way, and we don't want to be stressed about time. Sometimes there are unforeseen circumstances, personal, and sometimes there could, be something that happens, traffic on the road, it can be all sorts of things, but we want to try to be punctual. So please, we're all adults, but here, Bemet Kol Yisrael Arivim Ze Lezeh, I really want you guys to be on time. And I know, and the truth is, I never have a problem, but I need to say it because it's a very, very important point, because sometimes just leaving 10, 15 minutes later can set the whole tour. And sometimes things happen, but we try when possible, 99% of the time or 95% of the time, to leave on time. Okay, Shabbat. It's very important to tell you that in Japan, there are no staircases in hotels. There are emergency fire exits on the outside of the building, and you're only allowed to use them in the case of a fire. And we will be using the service of a Goy Shel Shabbat, who will be taking us up and down from our rooms on Shabbat. Okay, you're not allowed to use the emergency stairs. It causes alarms to ring. And I can tell you, even in a 100% true story, there was an Israeli group, I think it was like around a year or two ago, that some people in the group decided, use the emergency stairs. On Shabbat, Japan, you don't break rules. They made the entire group leave the hotel. They kicked them out of the hotel. So we are using a Goy Shel Shabbat. It's fine. It's halachically permissible. Being at a hotel on Shabbat in this modern times is always going to be challenging, but we manage it 100% fine. We have the doors to the rooms are electronic. There are no doors with keys. I recommend, and I will actually go around to all of your rooms, taping down the doors. I recommend putting all of your valuables in the safe, locking them up in the safe. No one's going to come steal your underwear, and the room will look closed. I tape the door. Those who have traveled with me or have traveled with other groups are probably familiar with this. You tape the door. It looks shut. It looks locked. It's not. And then you put the do not disturb sign in so the housekeeping doesn't come. That way your lights don't get messed up. And that's that. And you leave whatever lights you want on Shabbat. Okay, that's the rooms. There's no Eruv in Japan. So whatever we want to have at Shul, if you want to, people want to bring their talitot, their sidurim, etc. There are talitot at the Shul, but you can bring your talis bag there, and we'll be there for Shachri, Mincha, and Mariv. We'll be eating our meals there. We'll be eating our lunch there. We'll be eating our Sudah Shishit there. We'll be having Havdalah there, so you can bring your stuff back after Shabbat. Okay. Our Shabbat is spent with the Jewish community of Kobe. We daven with them. We eat with them. I wrote here the time of candle lighting. You don't have to bring candles. They're provided there near the shul. Dalet is there. Okay, what about our Shabbat meals? I said dinner, lunch, and Sudash Lishit will be served at the shul. For breakfast, we have just coffee and cake. There are two options. You can have coffee and cake in the hotel lobby, and you can also have coffee and cake at the shul. It will be they'll be set up there. Both options you can do, and you can do both. You don't have to choose one or the other unless you decide to go late. Something I'm going to add here is we're gonna have several times that actually two times that we leave. We'll have the early people who are going to shul on time. The shul is not very early in Japan. I'm pretty sure it starts at like 10, but I'll check the times. 10 or even we'll double check. And then the later people who are getting to shul for the end and for lunch. Both people, I will walk with you there, and I'm going to be giving you a short walking tour on the way to shul. It's not out of the way. It's on the way. It's a slightly different way walking to the shul. And I'll be taking you on a short little walking tour on Shabbat morning. And on our way back from shul, we'll also be having depending on how hot it is and how we feel in coming back from shul at lunchtime, we may also it's a walking. It's also a way. It's on the way back. We have another, and there just to give you not giving you spoilers, but they're both things that are connected to the history of the Jewish community in Kobe, without giving everything away. Time difference when we're in Japan, the time will be 6 hours ahead of Israel. I don't think we have anyone from London, but I wrote here 9 hours ahead of London, 13 hours ahead of New York, and 14 hours ahead of Chicago. We have laundry services at all of our hotels, and this can be charged to your room account. And this is the most important part. I am here. Nami is going to be there with me. We are there to take care of things for you. Okay. That is part of the enjoyment of these types of trips, that someone else is taking care of things for you. Something you leave your worries behind. You need something, there's an issue, there's an issue, you need something to be taken care of. That's our job. Come to us, and we are problem solvers. We are here to help you out. That's what we're here. We're mamash here to serve. So I want you to know you're in good hands, and that's mamash the most important. And I wrote here also, we want to have a big part of the tour is the group, and about having fun and enjoying each other's company. So if I meant bring your smiles, bring your jokes, bring your songs, and if you want, bring board games, cards. Sometimes, people on Shabbat afternoon might want to play with each other. That is my suggestion. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to want to look at your faces and hear from you guys if there's any, after I just talked your ears off, if there's any questions left. So hello, everybody. Is there, if you would like to speak, then unmute yourself. I see it here. That's okay. Is there anyone who, if you
Cindy.
have a question, then unmute yourself.
Cindy?
Cindy,
Okay,
how much cash should we bring with us?
Wait, first of all, introduce yourself. This is Leon.
This is Leon.
Leon.
And
okay.
Lisa.
And Lisa, yeah, and I don't see Lisa at all. I see a little bit of Lisa's hair. Okay. Leon and Lisa have traveled with me before. We went to eat all the countries we can't go to anymore.
It's beautiful.
Anyway, how much cash? I cannot tell you how much cash you should bring. Wait. But first of all, I would say, I hate giving amounts, I'd say bring at least $300 or $400 to have to change. You'll probably be able to use your credit cards most of the time. So, and also to take yens out if you do need cash. But I would say maybe have $300-400, But again, don't quote me. Also, what are you going to spend money on? You're going to spend money on souvenirs. You're going to spend money maybe on a drink, on a coffee. Maybe you'll take a taxi here or there. I don't know. Sometimes people decide that they in their they to I don't know, they find something interesting to do. When we have a lunch break and they go off and they do something and that costs money, but they're 90% of the time, at least, you'll be able to use credit cards. So keep that in mind. So I don't like giving a set amount, and I don't know what everybody's going to buy and how they're going to want to buy it.
Can't you use credit cards all the
You
time?
can use most of the time. I'll tell you one place where maybe you can't use credit cards is. Wait, I'm gonna have to mute you guys because I can hear everybody.
Where?
In Miyajima Island, which is the day we go to Hiroshima. We also go to Miyajima Island. There in some of the tourist shops, sometimes they don't accept credit cards. But most of the time you can have a credit card. It's always good to have some cash just in case. And that being said, also, very important, there is not a tipping culture in Japan. Exactly the opposite. If you tip in Japan, they will be them in most cases, they will be offended. Okay, there is not a tipping culture in Japan. You pay for your service, you pay your taxi driver, and that is it. Okay, you don't tip. So that you don't need to have money for tips, but you might need to have money for a taxi driver if you're taking a taxi here or there. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, please. I've got a question. You mentioned.
You have to introduce yourself.
Sorry,
introduce yourselves.
It's Hilary Weinstein.
And Baruch.
And Baruch Weinstein. Sorry. You mentioned about the hotels have pools. Baruch Weinstein. Sorry.
Can other people mute themselves, please?
You mentioned about the hotels have pools. I've got a delay. There seems to be a delay. You mentioned about the hotels have pools. The delay. There's something wrong. It's just
okay. That's better now.
Echoing.
Okay. Yeah, now I can hear you.
You mentioned about the hotels having pools. How much free time do we get? Is there free time in between?
Okay, you won't have very much free time, but I always hate telling people not telling people to bring their bathing suits, and then there is time. You know what I'm saying? On Friday, we have some time before Shabbat. We might have some time in the evening, and some time before dinner. And if I don't want someone to say, "Why don't you tell me there was a pool and there was free time?" So I wrote in my orientation letter, I worded very carefully, if time should allow. Okay, but how much is a bathing suit? Weigh. If you're a swimmer, but again, there's definitely a surcharge in Kobe. I'm finding out if there's one in the hotel in Tokyo. There is an extra. The chances are there's an extra surcharge at the hotels. That's the way they work.
Also,
okay?
the other question about walking. Is there a lot of walking?
Okay. Yes. The easy answer is yes, but we are also going to take into consideration the weather and how we're feeling and the heat. And for example, I'll just give an example. The bamboo forest is actually quite shaded, but still, I'll give the bamboo forest as an example. The bamboo forest is a long, you could walk through the whole bamboo forest, and that could be a long walk, or we could choose to walk through a certain segment of the bamboo forest. And saying those kind of things, we can be, on the grounds of the gardens, and if it's getting too hot, So we'll choose certain areas of the garden, and we're going to see how we're feeling with the heat, and also with regards, if I'm relating already to the heat and the weather, we are also alternating activities. We have indoor activities, we have shaded activities, we have outdoor, but we are doing our best to make sure everybody will be as comfortable as they can, but preparing ourselves that we're going in summer and it's warm. and we know this in advance. When we went in March, I knew in advance, even though it wasn't supposed to be that way in March, but I knew before, there was going to be snow and it was going to be cold. And I said, you need to bring your scarves and your hats and your gloves. And we knew that it was going to be cold and we had to adapt ourselves. We couldn't always have a picnic outside because we were freezing. So we in the summer, we're going to be adapting the same way, but we're good at adapting. Okay.
Just last question. Is there anything in the evenings? Is there a program in the evenings, or is there anything to do in the evenings?
We have several evening programs. I didn't go through the itinerary. I think you guys all have the itinerary. But because I like also the element of surprise. But one night we have a sushi making workshop. One night we have a calligraphy workshop. On Saturday night we go for karaoke. One night we have I think usually the second to last night we have our Misibat Siyum, our final party. So we do have activities at night, but you're also exhausted. So we do be out till 12 o'clock at night. These are going to be part of it. We do these activities also. The sushi and the calligraphy will be done at the shul. We'll be doing it there. We won't be going to the karaoke is on Saturday night. Once we've been well rested, we go out for karaoke. Once you've been rested over Shabbat, we go out. Anyway, so yeah, we do have some night activities.
Yeah.
And in general, we try to give you guys this tour, and more than other tours, tries to give you it's not just about touring and learning. It's about touring and learning, but we try to give you as many experiences as possible. We meet with a geisha, we taste sake. We try to experience as many things as possible.
Cindy, I have a few.
Who's speaking?
Cindy,
Ian. This is
hello?
Ian and Cheryl.
Ian and Cheryl, yes. You promised that you would cover most of my questions, and you have.
Okay.
The remaining questions are about the arrangements for the day we arrive on the Sunday, and that's Hillary and Baruch and Stan and Dan Baritzkis and somebody else as well, I think.
So I don't want to bore the rest of the group about that.
Shall we go with that
WhatsApp
separately?
group. I'll make a separate WhatsApp group for all of us Israelis, and I will explain to you what's going on.
Okay, fine. But the rooms are booked for Sunday night, right?
If you arrange that with Josh, then the rooms
I believe we did. Yeah.
All those coming from Israel, make sure you booked an extra night, and that's been organized. Yeah. Okay.
I believe we did. Yeah.
And I really don't want to bore others, but you'll be taken care of. Transportation and food and all that, of course, at an extra cost, but we'll talk about it.
Okay, fine. Okay. Right.
And suggestions for tours if you want to go out on Monday morning.
I can't get ordered. Yeah. That was another thing I wanted to ask, but we'll talk about.
Okay, so I will, but I'm going to open up Lee Neder. By tomorrow, I'll open up a separate WhatsApp group for us Israelis, so we don't bore the others with all our mishigas. Okay.
Cindy, we have a question.
Hi. Yes. You just disappeared, the Kritzkis.
Oh, I have a question.
There you are.
Okay, yeah. So we have a guy that will help us get up from downstairs up to our rooms. How do we get down?
But it will be, I'll explain it again on Shabbat. We will have set times where the Shabbos Goy is coming and meeting us and bringing us down. And we will make several times, bringing us up and bringing us down.
Okay, so there'll be a set time for us to be on certain floor at the elevator to
by the elevator. And they have the list of everybody, and they go again and they go again till they make sure they got everybody. You don't have to worry. It works.
Is there
Are we all on the same floor?
Not necessarily. We try as much as possible to put everyone on the same floor. Okay. I think a few people are talking at once. We're not, I don't know now if we're all going to be on the same floor. We try as much as possible to concentrate the rooms on same floors. It's not one floor, then 2 or 3 floors. It depends on the availability of the hotel. But the Shabbos Goy will have the list of all of our rooms with all of your names, and they will make the rounds. Okay.
Cindy.
Okay, sorry, I need now. Wait, one at a time, please. So I'm going to be taking a question from Harold Moskowitz.
Yes, hi, Harold Moskowitz and Nechama Moskowitz. Does Japan allow you to bring in deli?
Okay, that is such an amazing question. Don't. Okay, deli. He asked if Japan allows you to bring deli. I want to tell you a secret. It's gonna deli. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys again. Don't bring it. Officially, I was actually going to bring deli for you guys, and I was told not to. When you arrive in Japan, and you go and you're by the luggage carousel, there are signs everywhere: no meat, no eggs. You can bring in cheese. I bring in a suitcase full of cheese. Cheese isn't a problem, but they say no meat and eggs. Some people do it, and they get away with it, and they bring in. But Japan is not a Middle Eastern country where you can give a little bakshish and get out of it. If the authorities bring you for questioning, it's a problem. They're very, very rigid, and I don't recommend it. So don't bring deli. You can bring other things. You can bring cheese. You can bring, I don't know what else to suggest. But you know, I'm going to be supplying you guys with peanut butter, but you can bring peanut butter or hummus as long as it's on your carry-on. But you can bring stuff, but don't. I would recommend don't bring delis. I apologize. Okay. Any other questions?
Sharon and David Berger. Hi, Cindy.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
So first of all, a 2-part question about clothing. So obviously lightweight clothing. Are there going to be any days where we're going to be like indoor and air conditioning the whole time and we need something a little more warm than that? Or yeah.
We're never going to be inside air conditioning the whole time. You know, Shabbos will be the closest to that, and we're going to be walking outside. I would say I was actually debating whether to tell you guys to bring a light jacket. Maybe when the day we go to Mount Fuji, maybe it will be a little chilly. Probably not. We'll probably just be comfortable, but maybe have something light just for that day, and to have, you know, just in case. But I don't think so.
Okay. And what about Shabbos clothing for the men? Just
you don't have to be formal. You can dress however you want. You can be more casual. You don't have to wear
even like a polo shirt or something and pants, or
whatever you want to dress.
Okay. And you had some things written on there, but you didn't speak to. So there was something about containers and plastic bags.
Okay. Thank you for noticing. Thank you. You know what? Thank you for keeping me on my toes. I talked about that we're going to be packing our lunches every day. We supply sandwich bags. I recommend, if you guys want to bring, like, you know, little lunchbox, like Tupperware type lunchbox things. It's great, especially if you want to take salad with, you know. I just bought myself a new lunchbox for this trip. I'm very excited about using it with you guys. If you also want to bring your own little cooler bags to keep things cold. Though hopefully I'm going to have big cooler bags and ice packs for you guys because of the weather, because it's hot, to be able to take people's lunches and keep them cool when we're out and about. But if you want to keep your lunch with you in your backpack, then I recommend maybe bringing like a little an insulated like lunch pack or something.
Okay, so we don't need to bring bags because you've got that. We just maybe need to bring a container. So just a container for salads.
Container, and if you want an insulated pack, and I'm gonna edit the thing that the invitation letter a little bit before I send it.
Okay, and the day that we take that carry-on on the bullet train, are we gonna go straight to the hotel, or do we have to schlep that carry-on with us the whole day?
No. The carry-on will, wherever we get to, we'll have a tour bus waiting for us, and it will go straight on to the bottom of the tour bus.
Okay, so we're not schlepping anything with us.
So we won't be schlepping it around.
Okay.
So if we're bringing a laptop, which I'm going to need to for work, do I take that with me on the bus, or do I send that ahead? Is it safe? Like, what's the best way to do that?
You can take it on. You can take it on the bullet train.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You just can't take large suitcases. And I'm gonna give a little explanation now. See some individuals who do have large suitcases. A, they have to pay extra for that, and B, they allow individuals, but they don't allow groups because there's just not enough space on the bullet train for everybody's luggage. So when you say, "Hey, that's not fair," how come they got big, allowed large suitcase? It's not allowed for groups, and it's an extra fee.
Mm-hmm.
And Shabbos afternoon is just menucha time.
Well, Shabbos, what we usually do is, on our way back from shul, and again, we'll see how the weather is. We do a short little walk where we stop, and without too many spoilers, a point of Jewish interest in Kobe. We have some menucha time, and then we have Suda Shlishit. We go back to the shul for Suda Shlishit, which is our dinner. Mariv and Havdalah. And then we get back to the hotel, get changed and ready for karaoke.
Okay. Question?
Wait, there was somebody else who was raising her hand who hadn't spoken yet.
That's Leah. Leah.
So Diane, I'll let you after Leah, but I haven't heard Leah yet. Yes.
Oh, hi. Just a quick question regarding the lunch bag. So you're suggesting that maybe we have an insulated bag where we can keep our container on lunch? That's what you're suggesting, right?
I'm going to see
if
I can I'm going to see if I can also organize some big cooler bags to take everyone's lunches if they want to, us to collect them from them and then give them out at lunchtime. But sometimes people don't want to do that, and they want to keep their lunch with them. So if people want to do that, then bring your own, insulated bag.
But my question is, if you do not have the large containers for everybody, that means that we have to carry our own lunch wherever we're going, like whatever touring we're doing?
No, first of all,
or do you leave it on the bus?
You can leave it on the bus. We tell you
can
when
leave it
on the bus. You can leave lots of stuff on the bus. We tell you when we're getting off the bus how long we're going to be there, what we're going to be doing, what you need to take with you. The only thing I say, and even though in Japan you really don't have to worry even about valuables, but I always tell people, don't leave money or passports on the bus. Don't leave valuables on the bus. Even though in Japan, you got to worry if something happens to it, you're responsible for, if you've left it on the bus. So that's the only thing. But you can leave all your extra stuff if you brought a paperback, whatever. People bring all sorts of stuff. They don't want to schlep it with them when we're walking around. When it's lunchtime, and if we're going to be, picnicking outside or, finding a place to eat outside, I will tell you now, we're at this stop, we're also going to be sitting down and having lunch. So bring your lunches with you.
Okay, so in other words, there'll be some days where we'll be carrying the lunch with us because we're not sure when we're going to have the lunch. At other times, we'll go back to the bus to pick up the lunch.
No. I will always know when you're having lunch. I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bus tour go. We stop we go to the Meiji Shrine. Okay, that's our first tour thing of the day. And we go visit there. And I'll tell you, the Meiji Shrine, all you need to make sure you have is your water bottles and your hats. Okay, but then we are going to Yoyogi Park, and in the Yoyogi Park, that's where we're going to find a nice shaded area, and that's where they have the picnic table. And I'm going to say, okay, now that we're going to the Yoyogi Park, I want you guys to bring your lunches. Okay, so that's the story.
Okay.
So I will let you know each time what you need to bring with you.
Yeah. Another quick question. For some of us who blow dry our hair, and it's going to be hot and very humid, you said that there will be blow dryers in the hotel. My question was if they have like an attachment, like a nozzle.
I don't know exactly what kind of blow dryers.
Is there any way you can find out from the hotel?
I don't know if they're uniform in every room. I can't tell you for sure. I think I do remember they do have that sort of attachment, but I cannot guarantee you that kind of thing. I apologize.
Let it go curly.
Yeah, go curly.
He doesn't look so good curly, but he will be curly.
All right. Diane, did you have another question?
Yes, I have. Stealing, you had something? I have a question. What is the mosquito situation in Japan, and where we're going to be?
Okay, that's a very good question. I can tell you that I don't 100% know, but summer is usually mosquito season. But I can give you a piece of advice that was given to me as a tour guide, is that it's usually better not to bring repellent with you, but to buy it in the place, because apparently the mosquito repellents are made for the local mosquitoes. And like Israeli mosquito repellent won't work in Japan or the US, or won't work as well. So
Got it.
There's a pharmacy right near our hotel, or you can even buy it at the 7-Eleven stairs.
Okay, another question. Are we going on any boats?
We are.
And for how long of a trip is it? Because I have to bring medication for it.
Okay. 40, 50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going on boats. We're going on cable cars.
And
we're going skydiving. I'm just joking.
Do we need any vaccines?
No, you don't need any vaccines for Japan. And if you did, it's too late. You don't. I would have had to tell you a few months ago. Okay. Anybody else? Or can we call it a night?
No. Cindy. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can. Introduce yourself.
Rose Gersberg.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. Question 2. How long is the walk between the hotel and the shul?
The walk between the hotel and the shul is approximately 15 minutes.
Okay.
With a group, it could be a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. And also, are there any cultural sensitivities we should be aware of? Have you ever had experience with a group member? I know no tipping.
All this stuff when we're there. One thing also is try, and this is very hard for me because I'm a very loud person, as you can already gather. Don't be loud.
Okay.
In public, in the trains, you don't talk. For us Israelis, it's a problem. You don't talk on your cell phone in public on the train. If you do, you go in between cars to talk to take a phone call. But we'll talk about cultural sensitivities there. But in general, it's don't be loud. Don't stand out too much.
And we don't have to worry about not wearing certain things, the way you might be cautious at a religious site, not to show disrespect.
Nothing major. I mean, considering we are a Orthodox.
Exactly.
Japanese in general they dress quite modestly. They're much more modest than other cultures. But we don't have a problem, with this kind of tourists, you know, and tourists in the summer, I'm sure we'll see plenty of people wearing tank tops and shorts. But in general, you'll see less Japanese dressed that way.
But pants are okay.
Pants are fine. Shorts to the knees. Shorts are fine.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Right. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. Who's speaking?
Sharon Hertan. My husband told me how to leave
nice
already.
to meet you.
On Shabbos, I have a little trouble sleeping with my doors unlocked. I know I don't know if you have any idea if there are handles on the doors, because there's another method using string and tape so that the door can be locked at night. Do you have any recollection?
Okay, so there are handles on the doors, and I don't do the string method, but if you want to, you can. What I do at night is there is the latch. I put the latch on.
Oh, they have latches. Okay.
They have latches.
Thank you.
So then I feel, because I also at night I want to know that my room's closed and I'm sleeping, even though there's really nothing to work. You know, it's logical.
So what she's just going to do?
You put the latch on.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Because it's getting late and long. What I do want to say is thank you all for joining tonight. And it's nice to see some new faces, attach them to the names, see some old faces. And I am available if more questions come up before the tour. You can send me a WhatsApp, send me an email. I've given you guys my email. Whatever's good, give me a call. I'm happy to continue to help you guys get ready for this trip. And I look forward to meeting you guys very soon. So good night, everybody. And yeah, see you soon. Laila Tov. Bye-bye.
Laila Tov, bye.
Laila Tov.
Can't hear you if you don't turn yourself off mute. Laila Tov, bye. Laila Tov. We're on delay. Can't hear you if you don't.
See?
Laila Tov, bye.